And welcome to the Sports Roundup here at Irie on the Square. Glad to be back. Missed last week. And we've got the old crew back here tonight. We've got the coach, Chick Drury, joining us tonight, along with the official Fred Johnson, the color analyst down on the end down there, Keith Patterson. I'm Ronnie Williams, the host. And, man, good to be back tonight.
It is, and things are cranking up.
It's getting football time and the heat, and we're into August now, so I know it's one of your favorite times of year. You get to run around on the field.
Man, it is. It's an exciting week. Today we started the first game for high school volleyball, and I know those kids are excited. And football's coming up. We got Jamborees coming in this Friday night, and I mean, it's exciting. It's hot, but it's part of it.
And Keith Patterson's back with us this week. Keith, I'm glad you're back because we had golf questions last time, and I didn't have anybody give me an answer.
Yeah, I'm sure before the show's over, we'll talk a little bit about Tiger Woods and Steve Williams. But, you know, football season starting a week from Friday. It's hard to believe that it's here, August the 19th. You know, we got Lafayette Commodores going to Tupelo to play a big 6A school. So a lot to talk about on the show tonight. A lot happening actually on campus tonight. Big press conference with Pete Boone, announcing some things about facility upgrades at Ole Miss. So a lot of things happening around here in Oxford.
And speaking of the Lafayette Commodores, our guest tonight will be the head coach of the state champion Lafayette Commodores. Coach Anthony Hart will be with us here. So we're going to take a break, and we come back, we'll have Coach Hart join us. We're here at Irie on the Square. I invite you to come by as we get set to do some taping here tonight and come by and enjoy some great food here at Irie. And we'll take a break, be back with more Sports Roundup right after this.
Electrical needs? Then come in to Batesville Electric, where you'll find a full line of electrical supplies. Our professional staff will be glad to help you with all of your electrical needs, whether it's industrial, commercial, or residential. We custom cut your wires from 14 to 500 MCM and everything in between. The next time you need electrical supplies, then look no further than 351 Highway 51, Batesville, Mississippi. Batesville Electric Supply.
We got to be pretty good friends that summer. We, hung out pretty much every day.
We worked together all summer, got to be really good friends, and through that process of us getting to be good friends, I think I just started to have a little crush on him. And
funny story, I guess her car broke down at the beginning of the summer, and so, we lived pretty close to each other, so, she had to have a ride. So that's kind of how especially how we got to know each other, is just, through riding to work and from work together.
And he kind of approached me one night and said, look, this is the way I feel about you. And so that's kind of how the whole process began.
The way we went about it was, I prayed about it for a little bit, just because I thought it was important to have her dad, as a part of our relationship. And so I went and talked to her dad about some things.
And then we prayed about it again for about another week, and then he went and talked to my dad again.
We sat down and had a little bit of a 2-week kind of sit down, pray about it, think about it, and kind of did that for about 2 weeks.
Ben would always take me on theme dates, like they were never just a boring date. On our first date,
we went to a restaurant in Jackson called Fratese's.
He's Italian, and he got it to go, and he took me
to a park that was nearby, and I had a little picnic set up out there kind of at night, and we just hung out there. The park looked out over the reservoir, and so we just hung out there. And
it was just really sweet. I thought it set a really good precedence for the rest of our relationship. It's not just a mundane, normal, boring relationship. So that was our first date.
The letter X. It's one tough letter, and the only one that stands for something. It's the mark of the unknown factor, the spot of the buried treasure, the model of rugged beauty. But what really sets it apart is its power to multiply everything.
For over 25 years, property owners and lawn care professionals have been turning to one mower.
Dave and I have been using these mowers on our properties for years.
You got that right, Harold. Built to last, a Skag is the only mower I'll ever own.
Skag zero-turn mowers cuts our mowing time in half.
Plus, it gets us out of the yard and into the woods for that precious hunting time. With a Skag mower, you can count on high quality, productivity, and value for a lifetime.
Skag, proudly made in the USA by people who hunt and fish just like you.
And welcome back to Irie's here on the square, the Sports Roundup. And now Keith Patterson, Ronnie Williams. We're joined by state champion coach Anthony Hart of the Lafayette Commodores. Coach, good to have you here again.
Appreciate it.
It's our second time for Coach Hart to be on the show. And right now you guys are gearing up, just started practicing. You've got the first game coming up. You got the Jamboree this week. First game going to be next week. So you guys working hard right now.
Yeah, we're working hard, and kids are excited. We're excited. We're getting closer day by day, and just trying to get ready.
Let me ask you this. I know with the heat, the way it's been here, and you guys kind of getting started right here at the end of summer. As far as conditioning, how are the kids right now, and what are you guys doing to kind of watch over them?
You know, the way summer's set up now, we're able to have them in better condition than we probably were 20 years ago. So our kids come in a lot better shape than in the past. So, you know, we're just trying to build on that every day. And, you know, these first 2 weeks for me personally, that's my main concern, is to increase our conditioning level, more so than worrying about game planning and a lot of things like that. You know, I want to be in the best shape we can be in so our kids can make a full ball game, and that's what we're pushing toward right now.
You guys coming in off a state championship win, 16-0 last year, the only team in the state to ever go 16-0. You're going to have it bullseye on you this year, so what are you guys going to kind of do different, or are you going to just come right back to what you did last year?
Well, there really hasn't been any change in our kids. You know, you worry about that, you know, are the kids going to be complacent and what's the attitude going to be, and I really haven't seen anything different with them. But it is an uneasy feeling as a coach to know you're the guy everybody's gunning for. And naturally, we are going to be the team in our classification everybody's gunning for. And being at the top looking down, you know, it's a little uneasy feeling for us.
It's a lot better, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's what we want to be.
Yeah, but Coach, let's go back a couple years. And I know as a football coach, you're looking forward to the Jamboree in your first game. But let's go back to the state championship, not last year, but the year before. And obviously, your team makes a good run. You go over to Itawamba. You beat a very good team that had already beat you early. A lot of people didn't think you'd go to Fulton and beat them. You did. You go to the state championship, you get beat. You come back the next season, you run the table. Obviously, the highs and lows are totally different. But what did the experience teach you about losing and how good it felt to win?
Well, you know, I'd always thought in my mind, if I can just get to the state championship, I'll be satisfied. But getting to the state championship and losing was probably the worst loss that I have ever experienced as a football coach. So it made me reevaluate my thought process about getting there and winning that ball game, and I think that did that for our kids also. So they know what it's like to get to the state championship and win, and also to lose. So that'll be a little extra motivation for us.
One of the things that you know, you've got probably one of the top athletes in the state of Mississippi, and Jeremy Liggins, the quarterback. We all talk about Jeremy, DeMarcus Dennis, the running back. Before we talk about them, are there some kids this year that might surprise us? Because Keith and I are going to be up on that press box every Friday night. So give us a name of somebody to be looking for.
DK Buford's a name that you can look for. DK, you know, been with us for a year, but he's still just a sophomore. He's an offensive guy that I think can have a big year. Brandon Mack at wideout. Brico Burgess at wideout. Colby Terrell. Jeremiah Jones, those are our wideouts. You know, they possibly can have some big plays this year. And 4 seniors on the offensive line. So, you know, we've got some guys that with the right things fall in place can have big years.
Yeah, you know, I think, Coach, as we look at last year's season, it's easy to talk about your 2 key offensive players. But you know what? When people would ask me about Lafayette, what made them good, I thought last year the defense was incredible. What do you expect from the defensive side of the football coming into this season?
You know, I expect the same. You know, last year I read somewhere today where last year we gave up 7 point something a game. A little deceiving because a lot of those points came against our subs. So, you know, I feel like defensively we've got a chance to be as good maybe even say maybe better. You know, just according to how you play. You know, got 2 or 3 new guys over there that's got to gain experience and get ready. And with the first 5 ball games we have, they're going to be in the fire quick. But, you know, I feel good about us defensively.
Well, let's take a look at those first few games you talked about. You're doing some things this year that I guess when you come in and you're a state champion, it's kind of hard to find some games, but you're playing Tupelo, which is a big 6A school. You got Greenwood, you're playing Oxford, then you're going down to Louisiana and playing. I mean, that's 4 games right there that, you know, those are going to be some tough games.
And when we come back from Louisiana, we go to Shannon.
Yeah.
So, you know, our first 5 ball games, you know, you start with Tupelo. I think I saw where they're ranked 10 in 6A, you know. That means they're good. They're going to be very good. And I've known Coach Bradbury for years, and I know what kind of football coach he is, so they're going to be ready come game 1. Go to Greenwood. Greenwood, I think they won 11 ball games last year. And then you got Oxford, one of your top 5 in the North. So, you know, those first 3 ball games are extremely hard. And then we got to go to Evangel Christian, who's a national team. And we got our work cut out for us.
You know, Coach, as you go in and you're setting expectations, obviously you look at the first 5 games, and obviously you'd like to run the table and be undefeated. But really, the ultimate goal is to win the state championship. Would you say going into this season with the weapons you have and the experience, anything short of a state championship would be a disappointment?
Well, that, you know, you got to look at it as according to how good everybody else is. You know, there may be somebody out there that's much improved, and you may not be able to get by. But that is our goal. Our goal isn't to go 16-0. Our goal, you know, that's the only goal we have is to get back to the state championship game and to win. That's our goal. How we get there, I don't know. You know, last year we ran the table 16-0, and it was a great year. That may not be the path this year, but that's still the goal, no matter what happens those first 5 ball games.
Well, then you get into your region. Your region's changed up just a little bit. You've lost a couple teams. I think you've added New Albany and one of the Pontotoc schools, North Pontotoc, maybe. And so take a look at your region. Tell us who the teams are. Senatobia, I know, is always going to be a tough team, but who in the region besides Lafayette do you think is going to be one of the top teams? Probably
your top 3 teams in our region are Senatobia, New Albany, and North Pontotoc. North Pontotoc, you know, I thought North Pontotoc was as good as New Albany last year. I really did. You know, they were a quality club. Senatobia, they're going to be solid, and they're going to do what they do, and you just got to be able to match what they do. And New Albany's a much improved football program. So, you know, those three games aren't gimmies by any means. Rosa Fort's going to be very athletic, because athletic team is we'll get on the field with. And don't know much about Lewisburg. We've played them in the last couple of years, but they got a new coaching staff that the last year was their first year, so we really don't know what to expect from them.
You know, now let's talk about some individual players, obviously, that are highlighted. Obviously, your quarterback, Jeremy Liggins, getting a lot of publicity, a lot of schools interested in him. We've heard names of Alabama, Auburn, obviously Ole Miss. Most of your SEC schools are in. How do you keep him grounded every single week and keep focused and keep the people from talking and telling him how good he is?
You know, from the outside looking in, I know people probably think that's a problem, but with the Jeremy, just the kind of guy he is, that's not a problem. You know, Jeremy goes out there and he works hard and prepares every day, and he's a winner. You know, he plays to win, he practices to win, and it's just not an issue with him. And, you know, really that hadn't been an issue with any of our kids. And I stress to our kids constantly, if people come to see Jeremy play, you step it up and they'll be seeing you play. So, you know, for us, that's a thing that is a positive thing for our whole program. But Jeremy's handled it well. He's worked hard and improved his skills, and you know, I think the future's bright for Jeremy.
Yeah, I think it is, but there's one question. Obviously his size, 6'6", 250, 260, somewhere in that range. Do you project him and see him as a Division I quarterback, or do you see him as an athlete going to one of these schools and being changed position? Do you think he has a skill level to play in the Southeastern Conference at the quarterback position?